couple minutes early than normal for preludes. That's good.
Yeah.
So,
Will Tim join us today?
I got no response from any of my guys about. I asked them all because they're all part of this, and
yeah,
who knows?
Well, we can definitely talk about our campaigns in this area and stuff.
Oh man, this is a wheelhouse thing for me and you. So.
Yep.
This one's good.
Wild Coast is something that is up for change, I think.
Oh yeah?
Yep. I think it's time for an upcoming Elven campaign for
nice.
Celine to grab some
wow.
and do some shady deals under the deal with Greyhawk and stuff, and they're going to divide it up and then going to gang up on Turishmak and and he will get his fish warmed, so to speak. So, yep. Now, when they have settled their internal differences with Keelland and stuff and sorted that business out, then they can now concentrate on dealing with the next one and that Turishmak and stuff. So he will be in trouble for the future. Yep.
That's cool. Definitely.
Yep. So that will be a theme of an upcoming Elven campaign.
That's good. Hey, 491 Phantom, what's up? Hope you're doing well. I'm assuming you guys can hear us, right? Always doing that sound check. I think I got some reverb back too. I think I got my laptop. I didn't mute the sound. I'll have to check that in a second. Awesome. Hey, Nicole. Good to see you too. Yep. Awesome. There we go. Finishing up 4 stream for a week, 5 days. Same thing. I may have actually 5 and 5 next week. I got a possibility of something going on. Yeah. I'll talk about that tonight. Yep. Hey, Timmy, not good to see you. Awesome. Good. I'm glad to hear that. Did you get into what you wanted to get into? That's a good thing. That's a real good thing. Whoops. There's the wrong button. There you go. Early wrong button. Yay!
Yeah, get them in early before.
Yes, that was. Boing. Nice I just love talking about this area. I really love this area. I do. I think it's such a cool area. Yeah, Anna's was almost tough. With only 2 open seats, that one was tough, and Tim's was tough too.
Yeah,
only 4 seats.
Yeah, I'm a little bit sorry, but I didn't dare to I didn't have time to come up with something completely.
Yeah, because you're going to have supplement of your real players in the group there, right?
Oh yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah. So in future convention, and it's my first test run streaming things and running things online for a convention.
Yeah.
So if it works out, I will definitely be back and run full special games and stuff for future conventions. And also hopefully invite other people to run games or something. So we'll see. Yeah.
Jonas, there you go. Rob, Phantom, good to see you. Rob's got. We're gonna, we'll push out. I'm gonna go to right off the bat. I'm gonna go to the Virtual Greyhawk Con event listing here and see where we need to. I know it's only day 1 and 1.5 of signups, but still, let's see where we are. I haven't looked at it in the last 4 hours, so let me just take a look here. Oh, there are some new. Wow, there's a lot of new signups in. Holy. Amy got the last seat. Looks like in the joust.
Oh wow!
Yeah. Awesome.
That is great.
Yeah.
Yep. She died in my game today.
Oh!
Her character passed away. Yep. First kill we've had.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Anna. Just answering the question. Wandering.
Yeah.
This is the new Troller game. There you go. Go to that character manager. It's at the bottom there. It's Troller Games character manager. Hey, darling. See now, look. I'm like, what button do I hit next? New ad. Can't do the new ad for Portrait Workshop because I didn't put it in here. I knew I forgot something. Too late now. All right. I didn't put it into my stream thing on this one. Yes, Mike. The answer is yes. How's that for an answer? Yes.
Cool.
Of course. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, you do, Rob. You got some games that cater there. So. Yeah. My guess is, this is only a day in, which is great. We're going to get a lot more signups than most positive. Thanks there, Alex. Yeah, I didn't run because every time I have different setups for all the shows. and I was out all afternoon. I was over my wife's friend's house, and I put the new ones in and tested scene 15. I'm like, I don't have a scene 15 on the Gabbin one. Whoops. Duh. So that was the answer to that. All right. A fun, and then I'm going to discuss a fun area of Greyhawk. Legendary, you might say. Or may not, but I think it's awesome. Lots of great content all over the place here. Now, how do you not know? So, Josh, when am I not on a Sunday?
It's been on the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's like, what do you, what? Give me 1 second, everyone, here. I'm just copy and pasting one more thing in here. I want to make sure I got everything where I can get it properly here, just making it easier for me. Okay. Coming on in a second. Well, hey Godfather, good to see you. Well, that's a good point, and that's why nominal fee doesn't hurt either. So, but while I'm right here, let's do this now, just so I don't forget. Do that right now, this minute while we're here. Okay. I gotta tell live to my guys too. I'm good now. Yeah, you gotta check out Pawn Dream. Oh, that stinks, man. You gotta remember that. You know, we always remind people to do that. No, yes. So, good evening, everyone. As we finish up another week here, I got myself and Anna tonight.
Yep.
Gonna have some fun talking the Wild Coast, Narwell, and the Headhunters. I'm just going over some really fun things in the area. This is an awesome. I love this area, and that's why our latest. We never had done anything in Narwell. Now our second group is there, but we'll get to that. Let's do a quick flip over here for everyone and go to this, and let's talk about how I think we're having a very successful. It's going really well. So let's talk about Virtual GreyhawkCon sign up so far. So here's Virtual GreyhawkCon. If you have not signed up yet, you need to buy a badge. It's $5 plus a $1.13 fee or whatever. I know it stinks. You can't use PayPal, and you gotta use credit card. But from that point, you can sign up for events. And I'm going to show you how you can show everything. Go down here, go 100 events. All right. So let's just see. Let's just take a look real quick here. Look at all these great events we got so far. A lot of wonderful content still. There, that's filled. So Jay Hafner Citadel by the Sea is filled. That's 1. Fallen Ramparts the Moat House. That is Stephen Chenault's game. That's filled. 2. A Greyhawk Reborn game filled. 3. Captives of the Scarred Queen are McQuallish. Trapped in Lona Car at Amy's. The Eerie Trees, they're all filled. That's, wow, 4, 5, 6, 7 so far. Reverse Dungeon by the Ever Mysterious Tim, that's 8. 2 more Greyhawk Reborns, 9 and 10. Jim Ward's Tomb of Doom with Chuck, 11. Servants of the Single-Eyed Skull, 12. The Grand Joust, 13. That's filled. Mar Castle, that is Alan Growy, 14. Beneath the Tomb of Horrors, C&C. I think it's DM. No, that one's a cancel. That was one of the Katanas. Playing with Fire, 15. Ravages of the Mind. Wow, that's Josh is running that one, right, Zarathon? That's Len's Adventure. Mirehawk Shieldlands one shot, the first one, Anna to go out. Eric Mona's River of Blood. The Dead of the Howling Hills Guild Superior. But look at all the ones that are not filled yet, everyone. We got a ton of stuff with that has opportunity to go in and play in the game. So, hey, Chosio. So, yep, I feel it. Yes, did it during the. Sometimes that sign in and out thing gets you where you got to check out. Hopefully, you got into 2 and 3 Pawn Dream. That's good. I'm sorry about that. You can always see if you're on a wait list. You can put yourself on the wait list too, and talk to the DM of that one. Just say, hey, this happened. If there's any way you can fit me in, you can always ask. But we may have some other events come in too. But we're up to, I think there's 63 full events available, and we're probably at 1/3 of them filled. So there's plenty of room here still. Awesome, Gabriel. I'm glad to hear that everyone, for the majority, got what they wanted. September 30th is a Friday. October 1st, Saturday. October 2nd, Sunday. The first weekend in October is when we'll be running this. We'll be having a blast with it. But it looks like everyone here is getting into a lot of the games they wanted to, which is wonderful. And remember, these ones with 100, like Mike's painting and all, they're just so you can note them on your schedule so you don't have a conflict. All right, so there's Anna's one, Mike's one, and you can just log into that one if you want, into those or the Ask the Experts, just so it's a placeholder in there because they're on Twitch. All right, so you don't have to worry about those. So you did too. See, everyone forgets to check out, and we try and stress that. But so Anna, your thoughts, man? It's going really well.
Yeah, I'm just sorry. I wish I could take in lots and lots and lots of players, but this is my first streamed game, and it's part of my ongoing campaign. So I didn't have more than 2 regular seat and 1 VIP seat. So yeah.
Yes. So for I think Paul Moko and Antiqua just got in. So
yeah. Yeah. So but if everything works out, so people like it, then there will definitely be more times in the future. So yeah.
And that's what we like to hear, is that this is just continues to grow. We got a lot of brand new DMs this year, like Jay Hafner, who's got, and his is sold out. And we got, it's good to see some new people getting involved. And that really makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside that it's going. And, people like Carlos wish they could do it, but they can't because he's got a conflict the exact same weekend at GrogCon. So unfortunately, but we got a lot of different people participating, and that's always nice. So if there's any issues or anything, you can reach out to myself or Zarathon, Josh, Zarathon on, you see him, or Balfrin for tech, or Great Babe Tex for tech issues. And it's going really well. And I guess Josh, I heard good things about your game for JammerCon too, which is neat. I heard it. I think Troy said you did a good job with it. Hey, Chuck Baboonski, good to see you.
Hello.
So yeah, Chuck, trust me, I am in a much better place that I went out with my wife and son this afternoon than if I played in that game with you at home. So please be understanding on that. So hey, Pat, I wish I could, but it's got some real life stuff there. Thanks, Chuck. Thank you for that. So all I can say is thank you. Note some big things. Luke Gygax confirmed for the Grand Joust of Altamira. So he's in as a VIP on that. Other VIPs are Alyssa Faden is in on it. And Little Bones is playing in that right now too. Todd Stashwick is 50-50. He thinks he has people coming in from out of state to that weekend. He's not sure, but if he's free, he's going to be in on it. So
cool.
That'd be cool for the Grand Joust as well. Plus, our other ones are other regular signups and some of my friends, and some other VIP guests like Mike. So, are all these games being streamed? No, they're not being. Oh, not the good question, Mike. Not all these games are being streamed. Here, real quick, and then we'll go to. I gotta go to Legends and Lore. I didn't copy them over. Where'd I put them? 1 second, Mike, and I'll put them up. Here we go. Friday stream schedule. There's Friday. Okay, there's Friday's stream schedule running from 7 a.m. Eastern all the way through to the middle of the night with Rob Phantom's Adventure, which I know he has sign up spots for him. Hey, Revoljex. All right, that's Friday. We're gonna post this shortly, officially on the site. That's Saturday. Okay, starting in the morning with Reverse Dungeon, finishing up with Prayers Rejects late night all the way through. Got some great stuff, and then here's Sunday. Hey, Toxic Boy, good to see you. And then we got Rob Phantom. Oh my God, I had 3 E's in green there. What a typo that is. Actually, it looks good. I may leave it.
Yeah, I was going to say it's an adventure name.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. CNC. Yep. You got some CNC stuff in here, Chuck. A fair amount. Myrehawk Shieldlands on Sunday. Dead of the Howling Hills Superior, and then the Ask the Experts. Right now, we have Eric Mona, Maladin, Joe Block, Eric Boyd, and Grodog all participating.
Cool.
Yes. Yep. So, all right. The Joust is Saturday night, 6 p.m. Eastern starts. Saturday night, 6 p.m. Eastern. It'll be live streamed, of course. And that'll be a blast. And who is? It's got to be it's got to be Tim. So Tim's coming on.
Cool.
He'll be on at some point. All right, cool. So please note, all the ones you see here are streamed. There may be some others that are streamed here that we don't know about that are on the highlight, not on the highlight stream list. Mandy may put a game in. There may be a couple others. I will let you know as we go, as we keep up with all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited. And the shirts, I saw we got a lot of shirts out today too. They're still available in all sizes. If you want a Virtual Greyhawk Con shirt, they're right under merchandise. So things are going really well. All right. So that is it about Virtual Greyhawk Con. So we're here to discuss. Number one, I started another new group, and everyone knows every 2 years I go, I'm never doing this again, and I do it again. So we're going to go from here we are in Altamira, the wonderful Altamira. We're going to cross the Sus. Talk about this. That's a great published adventure. Mm-hmm. Come up. Wild Coast. All the way up. Here we are. All right. To here. Chuck, you're going to be happy. You got multiple locations on this map, which is awesome now. Really cool. So, never say never. I know. Oh, there he is. Dude, that beard's getting thick. Oh my gosh, you look like one. Yes. Wow.
Yeah, turning
it's part of I'm doing my Viking costume for Halloween, so I gotta like
Oh wow, you months ahead. Yeah.
You look like one of the Welsh defenders in the movie Zulu, with all the beards. So yeah, that's awesome. The ever mysterious Tim, everyone.
Yes. Color sergeants.
Yep. So if everyone saw my Twitter post, I showed this too today on Twitter because I'm a dummy. No, it was okay here. I put this up.
Oh yes.
Amy, Tim's sister.
I was clean shaven back then.
The ever mysterious Tim. Walt,
yeah,
and myself at the Tuxedo, New York, Sterling Forest Renaissance Fair. Probably 84 is my guess.
Costumes looks awesome.
Yeah, so there you go.
I think I was like 16.
16 or 17, yeah, at this point, yeah. Yep. This is not the year that this is not the year that we got invited backstage to the parties afterwards. That's a different year. Yeah, we were younger here. Yeah. Yeah, so just because Todd Stashwick posted something about his D&D group, and I'm like, well, I don't have any D&D group folks picks, but I have this. So think about this. My D&D campaign is 4 or 5 years old at this point for Greyhawk. That's it, right?
Yeah.
A long time ago. Yeah, you like that? Yeah, I'm a rich merchant. I was a rich merchant. Yes. and Tim was a thief trying to steal from everyone. So like typical stuff. So yeah, fun times. And then I'm only going to show this. If you want to see us live action heroes in an actual, then we have this is our adventure. This is our cartoon Adventures 30 Deeds that Jeff did. Yes, and this is all of us, And there's Tim, the evil priest. Tim, Jeff Moore, myself,
evil high priest of
Walt,
the church.
and Mark is the little halfling. Yeah, so there you go. Those are the days.
That was the church of hate and other assorted nastiness.
Yes, you like them, darling. Yes, this is what you acquire when you're young. If you keep all your stuff, you're lucky to get this. I mean, look at how the yellow the paper is on these. So I don't know, 5-6 years ago, I scanned them in. Actually, it wasn't that long ago. I scanned them in, but there's a whole cartoon strip with all of us in and playing ourselves as evil adventurers. It's called the Renaissance Fair Massacre. Actually, there's the cover. Yeah, part 1, the Renaissance Fair Massacre. Yeah, as you can see, it's very yellow to but yes, that's Marco.
Adventures, Dirty Deeds.
Yes. So I'm showing a little bit of our childish younger side there. A band of evil thugs and killers who have stumbled into the time warp in the year. Oh, it's 1985 at the Renaissance Fair. Have a little fun. Yeah. So some fun stuff. Down memory lane, right?
Yeah.
Down some memory lane. Okay. So the Wild Coast. Yeah, a little bit, a little AC/DC. The Wild Coast, a wonderful, wonderful place. In fact, we thought it was so cool, the Wild Coast area, which runs from, technically, a lot of people argue, I say it runs from Highport all the way up to this side of the river here, right? Yeah. Right before Hardby. That's my... Yeah. Do you agree with me on that, Anna and Tim?
Yeah, I think it's a good definition. And then it runs up to the dual river, so to speak. So as well, the region. So it includes a large part of the Welkwood and the Sus as well.
Yeah, a friend named Jeff Moore did them, Taryn, a long time ago.
It's a region that has thrown off too much interference, right?
Yeah, so Gary Julian told me why it was called the Wild Coast, and I never knew this. And the reason is that Airdrie came this far west, Keelan came to Saline east, and this area was disputed and never claimed, and so it was the Wild Coast. And I was like, wow, I never knew that.
Yeah, it was the leftover bits there.
That was barbaric. I'll be honest, it's one of the first things Gary ever told me or taught me when I first joined the community. I was like, wow, man, I didn't realize that's why. I just thought it was because there was pirates up and down the coast. Yeah, exactly. So the area...
It's a great place for adventurers to come from because you don't have to know a lot about the culture or history because it's just wild.
Absolutely. Also note that we will be doing the Pomars with Joe Block on Wednesday night. Hey, Amy, thanks. Amy, I see you got the last seat in the joust. That was awesome. So, very, very cool. Note that there's a lot of great things here, and we'll talk over it. When we were kids, and we got this Greyhawk map, all of us were like, our characters from the Wild Coast. That's cool. It must be like a Wild Wild West. So that's where our characters are from. So our initial characters came from the Wild Coast. If you were an elf, you came from Saline. Or half elf, you came from Saline. And if you're a human, you came from the Wild Coast. Because that's all we played. There weren't a lot of dwarves or halflings back in the day, but that's where it just came from. That's why I've always been in this area. And then... that first generation of characters was, we were like, oh, what a great story. When you read the original box set and you read the original glossography in this folio book here, and you read it, and there's this story about the Battle of Emerald Meadows, and you're like, oh my gosh, that is so awesome. Well, here I think I have I have a little bit better done. Is this by Mike? So yeah, more telling. This is Mike's Battle of Emerald Meadows discussion, and it talks about the whole time. So our Wild Coast characters, participated in this Battle of Emerald Meadows, which is it's 5-6, and there's late 560s, pre 576, when everyone. That's the start point, right, Anna? 576 or 598 tend to be the two start points now, mostly done.
Those are the kind of the obvious start points.
Yeah, absolutely. There really wasn't a halfling homeland to speak of, which first campaign in my homebrew setting. Yeah, well, so Anna, I'm sorry. So Amy, when we look at that, halflings, you got Cron Hill halflings, right? And you got Principality Ulick and County Ulick halflings, because that tends to be where they came from, right? In the original, there were some in those areas. So, yep, no guarantee. Oh, that's okay, Wayne. Sorry to hear that. If you're not sure you're going to be around, but there's going to be an event or two if you can last second to do. I'm pretty sure. So we thought it was so cool that we're wild coasters and stuff. And as we matured and brought out more characters, less and less of our characters came from the Wild Coast, and we didn't do a lot with it because those books. The cartographies just have a couple paragraphs on the Wild Coast. There wasn't a lot of detail. I mean, you had all these cool, you have this on the cover, right? You have the Fax logo on the cover, right? But you don't know much about Fax. You don't know much about Badwall. There's not a lot of detail in the 80 or 83 sets about what's going on here. Not much at all. So you had to really, come to think of it, there's not much in any of them on it. So. It was too far. Now, this is it.
The red lines are political lines, right?
Yes, they are political lines, but these political lines are lines. This is 76 map, but these are lines from 98 still, which I said it's okay to leave them there. Because, right? Well, actually, no. These are areas of influence that Anna has set up for these lands.
Yeah, and those are the kind of that as far as I could deduct from the 576.
It's not necessarily a formal governmental...
No, it's more like spheres of control, so to speak.
Which I
what
like.
What they.
Megalon, thank you. Geek Dice, thank you very much. Yeah, it's cool, and I don't know. I fall in love with maybe and Troy. I know you're busting stones, but you're absolutely right. I'm like I don't go to that eastern side of the map. Tim did. Remember? Where did you go, Tim? Eastern side of the map, huh? Was it there? ID? Remember we did all the ID adventuring with the Knights of the Eastern Sun, and you had your characters from ID, one or two of them. Yep. So we did go to the eastern side of the map when Tim DM'd in Greyhawk. So Hawk and Gazumba were over in ID a lot. Hop, skip, and a jump across, I guess. So... But then we come back over to the log. So comes the
close, but far enough away to be different.
Yeah, absolutely. The next publication that's big is Jim Ward's book, right? And next publication that's big is Jim Ward's Greyhawk Adventures. And there's really not much Wild Coast discussion in here either, if I recall correctly. Anna, do you remember any?
I don't think it's that much. Wild Coast is talked about a lot, but not detailed that much. It's kind of the backdrop, and then he doesn't get much love. He gets a lot of attention, but not much love, so to speak, when it comes to published stuff.
The world is huge.
With a few exceptions that we will talk about Wednesday. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
That. Correct. That yes, and Troy, you're absolutely right. And for me, I've been playing, and Tim's been playing with me since 1980, and we cover Ulix, Selene, Harby, Greyhawk, Narwell on the Wild Coast, Shieldlands, and the Vespi Forest. And what's that? 1/8 of the map, and all that time, and that's
it's not more than 10%, maybe. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, my current map, it's not even more than the 5% or 3%, but on the original Darlene map, it's probably about 10% or so.
Right. Absolutely. Oh, yeah. With Hepmoland and everything else. Yeah, absolutely.
Only a few percent. Yeah.
But note the following. You can take an area, no matter where it is, and you can further develop it. And I want to say I have my little touches on this area, which is great and fun. And we can discuss some of them. But history-wise, you got to wait till this publication comes out, and this is kind of a strange one. It's the best one of all time, in my opinion, from that concerns Greyhawk. That it really this area starts getting developed, and that's a City Greyhawk box set, right? The City Greyhawk box set comes out, and they go over areas way outside of Greyhawk, and I'm like, this is awesome. So they go over, Grosset in here in the Cairn Hills. Let me see if I can bring this up without crashing everything. Okay. So we got to go to the second book, if I recall. In here, they discuss, here it is, territory surrounding Greyhawk. All right. So now you're going to get some, you get to see some really cool things that for the first time are detailed up. And is this the one that is this the one Niles did? I always get them confused who did which book. This one's Doug Niles. We got to get Doug Niles on.
Okay, yeah.
We got to get Doug Niles on.
That will be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, for this and some of the other great things he did. All right. So when we go into here, there's Grosset, and that's in the Cairn Hills. But now you're getting down here, Elmshire, Castle Greyhawk's noted, Wizard Tensor is noted. And now when you get down here, further down, you start getting into some really cool areas. Graysmere, going to Aber Owls now. Mistmarch is noted here, detailed on Plain of Greyhawk. Now you're getting to the west. Now you're getting to areas of the west of Greyhawk. Lord Blackfear's Manor, Sultan River. You're still getting further west. That's the river that connects Hardby to Greyhawk. Here we go. Gnarly Forest, Eastern. You're finally getting some detail in this area when there was none in any publications up to this point. And so they start talking about the Gnarly Forest, and this gets. Thank you so very much for that hype train. That was really kind of all of you. So it's always a night of. I got a whole bunch for someone to.
Oh wow!
I got a whole pile here to get your two choice from. Okay. Yes. So I'll get the winner, please. It should be working now on the signups. Yes. So Lord Loxwell's Manor, Five Oaks is noted. You're getting on here Blackthorn. Now this is a great area in the Gnarly. So we're only getting the Gnarly Forest. We're not getting the southern spots yet, but they're getting closer and closer to the Wild Coast. And I consider the Gnarly Forest that's just me, part of Wild Coast Encounters. So this is our first taste of areas that are further out of the city into the Wild Coast. So and note, we're talking, here's Five Oaks, here's Blackthorn. So this area here, all of this and the river and all was detailed in the Free City Greyhawk box set. So we got a little bit further. Love him or hate him, Carl Sargent did a lot for Greyhawk. And when From the Ashes comes out, it's changing. It changes a lot of what happens in our Greyhawk, for better or for worse. Like I said, I've always used 80% of it. But when we get into this, I think it's a second book. I think I got to open up the second book. Let me just make sure. Yeah, I got to open up the second book. Book 2. That's book 1. Sorry. Let me open up book 2. Book 2, the campaign book. Yep. Okay. So we're going to go to page 38 down. You really get some detail now, and you get all these areas. And this is what I loved most about Carl Sargent's box set. All over around Greyhawk, you get the detail right now. Here's Karestein. You get the Storm Keep and the Mountaineer Militia. You get all sorts, and they're detailed characters with their levels and everything. Ogre Meat, and you get Adventure Hooks. Now this is Anna. I'm trying to recreate this in our Altamira set, by the way, with Adventure Hooks and all sorts of stuff too. I mean, that's what I'm attempting to do here. So here you go into the area of the Gnarly Forest. You have the Gnarly Forest Rangers detailed in here. You have the Swan Maze detailed of the Gnarly. they don't go back to Blackthorn. Blackthorn's in a previous publication, so they don't discuss it here. But now they're discussing all the stuff in this area, and this is just, I was like, man, I love this. This was like crunchies in apple crisp. I want the crunchies, right? It's like, I love this. And then you get down into other locations, and it gets into some great detail. And then finally on page 50, you get down to the Wild Coast itself. And this is the first time that I know of. This is from the Ashes, Toxic Boy, which I think you can download. I think you can get and drive through. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Both the Free City Greyhawk box set and From the Ashes, I think you can both get on drive through.
And the original 83 box set too. Yeah.
How about Jim
I got
Ward's
all of them.
Is Jim Ward's available?
I think so.
Greyhawk
Yeah, because I bought a whole bunch of Greyhawk stuff when it came up.
Yeah.
Was like 5-6 years ago or something like that, or 7 maybe, or maybe 8 now. But a bit after I moved to California, they opened up Drive Through RPG, got lots of old TSR stuff, so I gobbled it up. Yeah.
And you have to gobble this. I mean, this is just this is meat and potatoes for anyone who wants to adventure here. It's a great starting point.
Yep.
And Safeton's detailed. Now look, the maps are okay. All right, these maps are better than Fate of Istis maps.
Well, they're done in the same style, but
Right.
I must say the design of the city design is a little bit better. Some of these are a little bit better, but they're still way too basic, I think.
True.
But we have to remember when they're done. So
absolutely. Yeah. Safeton's detailed. Torn Deathstalker is there now. He's left. And here comes my area, Narwell. And this is the first taste I get of Narwell. And I get the story of the Narwell Headhunters. Right, Tim? And I'm like, I like this organization. They're good guys. They're like the Green Hornet. They're bad guys, but they're good guys. They're not. Yeah. They're they're not all good aligned, and they don't take crap, and they really don't like taking prisoners. They kill, but they deal with the issues. Ooh,
they're contractors that tend to support those that need help and good, but individually they're a little rough around the edges.
So you have a decent, once again, an average map of Narwell. To this day, it's just like Altamira. I'll show you what I have done. So this is it. I mean, I have, but I'll show you the area too. So here's the Narwell Headhunters headquarters. And then I have these locations noted that we've edited into this area here. We have the Summoner Shield Hall. I got a little bit better than this. I'll show you in a second. The Sundered Spear, which is in publication for Living Greyhawk. I like the idea of Falora. I liked what she is about. I added her, and we have Pete and John. There you go, Pete and John's Teamster Service Warehouse here, Tim. Quethel's Trading Emporium and the Quill and Inkwell Inn. So this area right here is the entire area with the Narwell Headhunters headquarters. That's it. This is all I use in this entire town for Narwell. Okay. Now, that doesn't mean I don't have some detail. Here's the area on my table, right? So this is the Quill and Inkwell Inn right here. This is the Sundered Spear back here, and I'll show you another angled picture. This is the Summoner Shield Hall for Trevin and Brolin, who appeared on Thursday night stream. Here's the Deep Strike Training Hall, a duelist. Here's the front gate of the Narwell Headhunters, and they got some other establishments here. So it's on the table. The area, it's been on the table before. And then you have the inside of the. This is the inside of the Narwell Headhunters training grounds. So, paid retail for your box set. Hey, to have these box sets in hand feels good, though. It does. I know they're expensive, but it feels good. So, this is my reference. Is these pictures for my map. I don't need really another map. We just go to these 3 maps and refer to everything that we use in the campaign. Now that doesn't mean we won't go beyond that, but that's all. We use a little piece of the city. We don't use the whole city. Just like I don't use the whole city in the Free City Greyhawk. It's insane. You know, it's too big. You know, so Anna, you ever thought of using Narwhal?
Oh yeah, I've used it a little bit. We actually went through when I played out some of the things from the Ashes. When some years after it came out, we kind of played through those years, and I tried to stay. Back then, I was so keen on staying close to the real story, so to speak. So I was kind of, I didn't go out on and created my own version of things that much. I was much more trying to meaning the big story arcs were the ones described there, and I've simply forced my players through it. Now I'm much more open and sandboxy and feel like I'm liberating myself from my campaign from the story. It's still history, but now we're breaking new grounds. But back then I played it a lot, and so we played defending Narwhal and Safeton and stuff from orcs and so on. So especially Safeton, it was a lot of fun, and so we were down there playing it out, and they were down there doing something else, and the orcs just attacked and stuff. They were going to save some merchants' stuff and ship it out of town and stuff, and then the town got under siege, and there were Taurus Max men were everywhere, and we had a lot of fun manning the walls and defending and stuff. So that was it was a lot of fun. Yep.
So Tim had two characters in the first group.
Yeah.
And we have that. We'll tell that story. Your barbarian cleric, right?
Mhm.
That's a funny story. Got to tell that one. And your second one is it a gnome?
It's the deep gnome, yeah.
The deep gnome, yes, the deep gnome of Calidor and Smooth Hands. Is that it? Priest of, I think.
The
Or is he a fighter? Yes. All right.
Specialty priest, and that name doesn't sound familiar.
Okay.
I can't remember off the top of my head.
Oh, yes. That shows you how brain dead we are. So our first group, I ran up.
Of miners. She's a god of miners.
Ula, right? Yeah, Ula.
Yeah, there we go.
Ula, yeah, absolutely.
And I would pronounce it Ula.
Ula, yeah. Our first group of Narwhal was very successful, and you all know we bounce around a lot. And I know I appreciate all of you that watch on Thursday night and go, "Oh my God, what group are they playing this week? I can't keep track." Well, I sympathize with you on that. So, yep, it is a lot bouncing around. So, Narwhal has been a blast. Hopefully, Chuck, you were here still, because I want to show Anna has helped me out here, and if we look at this map here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 locations that are, you're like, what the heck are those? Okay, now this location, Forest Green's Bastion, was here before I was streaming, but we did a return to Ula la, yeah, I don't know how you pronounce it. Ula is the deity of gnomes, dwarven, and human miners, so it's a be-all end-all deity. Seems to it slipped through the cracks on us for years, because usually dwarves and gnomes went with deities that were more, of dwarvish race, or I'm sorry, I can't use the word race now, dwarvish species or whatever. I know that's a big thing going on.
Yeah, we still use race in D&D terms.
Thank you.
It's kind of, we know it's out of fashion, but we know that, we're aware of it, but occasionally we slip. So yeah.
Yeah. What is Oak Vein? Oak Vein is a place where a bunch of the druids meet.
Yep.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's a holy place.
I think it's mentioned in From the Ashes. I think it's From the Ashes, or is it from Greyhawk box set? It's from one of these. Okay. Yeah.
Box set.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's mentioned in these.
Yep.
It's from that era. Yeah.
Yep. So in this area here, during my adventures, I'm like, I had this planned out for like 2-3 years. So some of the adventures we did in this area to expand on it. So first thing here, Newbriar, and the new group's traveling to Newbriar, but got sidetracked by a small town, Singing Groves, on the way, which isn't on the map yet. But so here's U1 Shadows of the Halfling Hall. That is Newbriar. That's the halfling town of Newbriar. This is a Troller Games one I've added. Okay, Comray. Comray's a town. The adventure is not final in there. The adventure is into the gnarly. But here's Comray, is in Verdant Rage, another Castles and Crusades adventure that I really liked. Added that one in. Okay. the one I forgot to bring down here was now. This is blasphemy to a lot of you. I apologize, or maybe not. Does anyone know what this town is here?
It's smartly done, Jay. You done that. That was
Thank
really
you.
smart done. Yeah.
Yes. So anyone out there? Anyone? Bueller? Yes. So it is Lorraine. It is Orlane. Just changed the name to Lorraine. And we did the cult of we did against Cult of the Reptile God. I had the entire town of Lorraine on my table for weeks. So here goes the story.
Yeah, that hurt.
That hurt. I'd have to go back and find out what adventure number that was and try and find pictures of that. So that's where Little Red Lynn is from. That's funny, Mike. So Tim, tell the story.
About what happened to Zafnath?
Yes, your barbarian cleric during the beginning of Against Cult of the Reptile God.
Cleric Zafnath Panea went on a vision quest to fight one of his nemesis spirits, because that's the way he has to go up a level, and succeeded. So he went up a level, and he wanted to have a celebration with his traveling companions to celebrate, and they didn't have a roast pig at the inn, so he went to the farm across the street. It was negotiating for a pig, and nightfall was coming, and so as soon as it dusk, they're like, well, "There's the pig." They took my money, and then they all went inside. And so Jay had great amounts of fun making it difficult for him to get the pig. And it was a piglet, and so I kept trying to spear it and kept missing. And so it went on long enough for him to get the attention of the villains in the game, and he ended up getting held with a cleric spell and then kidnapped.
Absolutely. So that's
fun.
Here is Lorraine on the map on the table. I got the entire. Now I had to take some creative liberties with this, but the entirety.
You can still recognize it from when you open the module and you have the map in it. That's
thank you.
Cool. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's some other angles showing. Yeah. So this is right here. This farmland here is where see the pigs out here, and here's the inn. The feathered serpent, and so he comes out here and he's like, "Oh, I wish I had pictures of that. I may have some live action pictures or not."
I thought it had a fence around it.
No, that's it. No, it didn't. It didn't, man. And that was fun. We had a blast with it. It took weeks, and the roofs are so clean. Well,
if he ever changes alignment, he's going to go back to this town and kill the whole farm, everyone on the farm, and probably burn it down. If he ever goes evil, that's what he's going to do. He has a little bit of resentment.
I tried something new for the first time in this adventure too, and that was I printed out. There were these color prints of the rooms and the encounters, and I printed them out in full scale so I could utilize them in encounters. And here are a couple of them. I did print these. Here's the inside of the feathered serpent and the fight going on. So yeah, that kind of worked. That kind of worked for this. I still have these. And if someone wants to run this and I'm not going to run this again. I would be more than happy to, give these to you. Just so, not of course, I'm talking about the flat lays. So Roof Cleaners Guild, yeah. You can't have that realism and everything there, but no, that was a blast. I wish I have this picture of the group going to the church, where it has fallen and the cult's taken over most of the town. I did that full size print for level 1 of TE. Isn't that a good idea, Mike? Yeah, absolutely. So, but notice he was captured. Sorry, Tim. Tim had the one character, and also Candace, who is a character you all know from Horror in the Hools. She was captured long ago and is actually one of the final encounters with the Naga in Cult of the Reptile God. You had to, your own mentor for the Headhunters. You got to save her. I thought that was kind of a neat idea to link in, but I don't know. I don't have any of those final combat things. I think this is the end. This is the end fight. This is close to where the end was. Yeah. That's the end encounter, and that was tough to do. But so my whole point of this is, am I blasphemous for moving this from Grand March to here? I'm never going to run it in the Grand March. I've never run it again. This is, by the way, Adventure 894, everyone, and we're on 968 now. I'm never going to run it if I leave it in Grand March. Do I want to run this classic, one of the best adventures of all time, or not, because I'm not going to move it? Thoughts, Anna? And
Yeah, to me, I'm not so open to move things to another place, so to speak. For me, it will be like, I want to. It's there, then it needs to be there, and I will not run it anywhere else. But I think it's really cool to do it. It's more like I'm almost angry at myself for being so damn stubborn that I don't want to change any of that stuff, and I'm so inflexible when it comes to as a liberal. That hurts me to say that I'm inflexible and stubborn and don't want to change things. So if adventure is set over there in whatever it's set somewhere, it needs to be set there, and I would take years for me to get there just to run that location, so to speak. So yeah.
Tim?
Hey, I think it's okay to put it wherever you feel like it. It's your Greyhawk, isn't it?
Yep.
Exactly.
It is. Yep.
If you want to stay true to it, then a little gameism is you have a reason to go to the region, or you just fast travel like you do in a computer game where you travel to one location to another quickly.
Hey,
I like
Patrick.
positioning it where it can be fits into your game.
Yeah.
So I respect the previous works of everyone in the published sources, but I'm never going to run it in Grand. There's no way the Headhunters are traveling. There's no way. See, this is where are traveling all the way out here, right? All the way out here. And we talked about this last week. My dumping ground for third-party things is Grand March as it is, right? I put Durbanford in here. I put Egg of the Phoenix in here. I've done a lot of other things.
Your dumping ground.
Yeah, my dumping ground for stuff has been there. I look at it like this was an opportunity. Mike, like Alan especially, and I'm not bad-mouthing Alan. He loves running the module scenario old adventures. So I want to bring them that experience, especially one I had never run in 40 years. And so, all right, don't want it to beat a dead horse, but just note that that is
it lets you re-interact with a created village in a creatable area for the campaign. You can use it again if you need to.
Absolutely, it's there now. Lorraine is there, and it's and the cult, the Naga was somewhere up in this area up here. So, and we go from there. And but no, we had a bunch of adventures beyond that, and trying to get to the point here for Narwell, the Headhunters. For years we've had it, and there's adventures here that I've run that I'm not a fan of that much. Lord of the Scarlet Tide, I know a lot of you know, takes place underneath Narwell, and it deals with Croatoans. I ran that years ago before I started the Narwell campaign. Okay, there's a well there, great, no problem. The well's still there, but it's no longer tainted. That one's been dealt with, so they're not having constant. I had Murlocs come up once because I put Murlocs everywhere because I'm a jerk, right? So the Murlocs came out of that well one time. You were there. Remember, you had what's his name? Sir Reginald was actually there during that adventure, just hanging out. Yeah, he was like a second level mage at the time. So we've done stuff, but once again, hopefully Casey's not on. Anyone who's done Living Greyhawk, I apologize. Living Greyhawk raises Narwell to the ground. Imagine that. They just destroyed the place. They
destroyed a lot of stuff. Matter of having fun, so to speak. So, yes, and they had fun. So yeah.
Yes, and more Murlocs are coming soon, Mike. I'm going to give you a little foreshadowing there. There's a lot more Murlocs coming. Yeah, so they raised Narwell to the ground. Like that's not happening in my Greyhawk. Sorry,
my Greyhawk, my Hawk Narwell still stands. So yeah.
Oh, it does for you too. Okay.
Oh yeah, definitely. It still stands.
Well,
they did
raise and then rebuilt.
Yeah. That was they were up there raiding but that was the time when forces both from Greyhawk and Selene banded together and kicked them out.
That's cool.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yep. And when they get that close to Celine, then he was like, no, that's our backyard. You're not coming up here messing it up. So they actually took the orcs in the back, so to speak. So when the local defenders of Narwell and Safeton were starting to to run thin, that's when the elves hit the orcs from the outside. So, yeah.
I think I use that same mini, Mike, for the. I think I use that same mini because the nog you painted for me is the Falcon from our second fundraiser, because that's the series of Greyhawk Adventures in the Greyhawk City. So that's why LG is more of a, that must have been cool thing rather than, I need this in my game thing for me. Yeah, Rob. I mean, it's like there are things in the From the Ashes box set I don't like, and I've gone through these 100 times. I don't like them killing off, Valderess of Sharn. I don't like them killing off Grimry Fisher and a couple others. Living Greyhawk, they kill everyone. Karestein gets wiped out. Narwhal gets wiped. Everyone gets killed. I mean, it's just like, and I'm just like, okay.
But they had 10 years. They needed to have things moving forward, meaning
oh my gosh,
so, yeah.
They killed everyone, and that's okay. I mean, but that doesn't.
Did Living Greyhawk pioneer killing off major characters so that later The Walking Dead and Game of Thrones kills off a lot of major characters? Is that what happened?
No, I think go back to Return of the Eight and a whole bunch of adventures when they killed off the lot of fancy, meaning they almost all got killed except Mordenkainen. So meaning they killed off all the big famous wizards.
They're the first one.
Yeah. Oops, Tim, you're chopping a little bit.
Is the first one.
Tim, you're chopping.
D&D is the first one.
Yeah, you're chopping, dude. You may want to log out and back in.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we're losing you. He's gonna log in and out. So this area, Narwell. Hey, what's up, Mike? I know, Mike, you're kind of a fan of this area too. Narwell is cool, just because I love the story. I have it that the Headhunters are really weakened now. They've had a lot of issues. They've lost a lot of individuals. And my whole point with these low-level adventuring groups is these are new initiates into the Narwhal Headhunters. Bladestorm is one of my favorite NPCs of all time that's published source. I love Bladestorm. I've used her with the Iron Brigade group. I've used her here. I've adventured her as an NPC. I love the idea behind that character. And she's in the From the Ashes box set. So she's here, and I have, she has some lieutenants. Romarian Tamain is still here. I think he dies in Living Greyhawk. I don't have that happen either. There, you look a lot better, Tim. Although much better. So,
why, thank you.
So Group 1 is our first time round, and I know some of you played. This is how long we've had this group. 2 years ago, during Virtual GradCon 1, I ran an adventure that a lot of you played Narwhal Headhunter characters. I know Amy played one, Laurelie, and I know Tim played one, and he played Lindara, if I recall. I mean, a lot of you played those characters because I had to fill a time slot in the Sunday morning. So some of you actually played some of the characters in our group here. So there's been a lot of goings on, and who's the bad guys in this? Yes, cool. And that was almost 2 years ago, Amy. Isn't that crazy? Where time goes? Yeah, big thank you, Tim. I know Enoch, whenever we run that group, he always gives hero points to Lindara all the time now, which is really neat. Did you say once that the Headhunters use big knives as a distinctive item? No. So here's what the Headhunters do. Bladestorm fights in an illegal fighting style at the time of the Free City Grout set in From the Ashes. And that is, she fights longsword. She's a half-elf, which is an illegal fighting style for a non-dark elf, right, Tim? Non-dark elf character at the time, a longsword in each hand. And so what happens is we had to figure this out so that it made sense. And when 3rd edition, thank you, 3rd edition came out, we merged feats into our system of proficiencies, and we gave them more proficiencies, but we added some feats in. We have one called Monkey Grip. Hey, Bones, we were talking about you in being in the joust. A VIP guest in the joust, which I really appreciate. So monkey grip, you're allowed to monkey grip in your second hand. It's an extra -2 for weapon. So you have your two-fisted fighting penalty and your secondary hand penalty -2. You can fight longsword. So, yep, a lot of characters like Laurel Lee and Bill's other character that he has as well, Saoirse, if I recall, both want to fight in the same style. So they fight longsword, and that's what you mean by large knives. They fight with longsword, dual fighting style. For min-maxing, it makes no sense because you got a huge minus in your secondary hand, but it's part of the game flavor. Right. So good question.
As a fight snob, I would say that a huge penalty is totally appropriate.
Yeah, because it's almost impossible with 2 longswords, right?
It's very difficult in reality to use 2 long weapons like that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So it's a great question, and note that it's something that we do. I love the monkey grip. We've had halflings monkey grip longswords. We've had that happen. We have we have a lot of people go with that secondary hand using a primary weapon in the secondary hand. So that's only the main fighting weapon, but I can carry a big wider blade knives for utility. Maybe else. Well, see, Blue, that's a good idea too, because they are headhunters and they love bringing back heads. I mean, and that started from Bladestorm. It's her first time. They didn't want her. They're like, yeah, who are you? You're little. She's like she's short for a half-elf female. And they like, all right, well, come back with their heads, and then we'll talk. And then she brought the entire bandit group back with their heads. That's right in published source. And that's she became a headhunter. So pretty neat. So the groups are there to bolster back up the Narwhal headhunters, which are low on numbers, particularly because of this gentleman here. In particular, because of Lord Mistrine. And she is a badass. She's a badass. Maybe I'll have her come across your group sometime, darling, when you're adventuring. She's a badass. She's a Cleric Ranger, actually. She's the same class as Bones' character, Cleric Ranger.
Well, she could have had all her people cut off their heads, and she could have just been the one to bring it in.
But she goes solo a lot. She's on her own all the time. So, Lord Mistrine. So, Anna, what do you know about Mistrine?
We don't know that much more than he's some evil badass fighter type with surrounding that he has a party of or like a whole bunch of other helpers that seems to be high level, and they seem to be like an evil capable party. So I simply wrote up a backstory for him and said that no, he's actually one that fled when the Great Kingdom was falling apart. He took a lot of the treasure and fancy items and stuff and hid them away here, and in a kind of a remote little corner that no one knew about. So he basically set up camp just outside of civilization, but still fairly close to civilization, and struck a deal with Rothkor that lived there and fed him some money and said that, can you please be top cover over my domain and estate here, and I'll keep feeding you some gold pieces and some nasty little some tasty little morsels now and then, and he set up shop and trying to stay out of touch and hide away the treasures and stuff from that was. So he took some treasure from Great Kingdom that was falling apart. That's my backstory of him.
So for me, I don't go that far back. I say he's there now. So and he's a nasty high level fighter who claims 15 miles around a domain around him and let me I'm trying to get
old
this
school.
Yeah, absolutely old school.
I have him. He was one of the treasure masters for the Knight Protectors.
Oh,
so he's an evil Hextorian. So yeah, and that's the reason there is a Hextorian in one of the, I think it's Karnak or one of the little towns on the and that is the guy that fled with Lord Mistrine, and then he was like, "Nah, I don't want you hanging around in damn here, not doing nothing." He wanted to go out and cause mayhem. So that's why he ended up there. So yeah,
here's what it says. This is all it says about Mistrine in here. This formidable 4-towered stone castle is on Lord Mistrine, a 15th level neutral evil fighter. Who, and that's high in this era of 2nd edition. Who has 50 men-at-arms and unknown number of spellcasters in his walls. He gives allegiance to no one, and patrolling militias do not approach this gloomy place. He's had powerful hatred of humanoids, so he does not like humanoids either.
No,
he and his men all, and this is how you know them, all clad in black plate mail, Haven't seen making forays in the buffer zone to attack them.
Yep.
So
it's like he doesn't want to show his real allegiance, and he might not even have one, so to speak. But he's kind of hiding away stuff, waiting for further orders, so to speak, in the future.
Yep.
And that hasn't come yet in my campaign, so we'll see what happens. So yeah.
So I've gone one step further with Mistrine.
Mm-hmm.
Where do I have Tim?
Was it Cavalier?
No, not Mistrine, but Mistrine's what?
Oh, you had his
Mistrine's daughters.
Yes.
So I have a group that are Mistrine's daughters, and they are supposedly all his blood. Mistrine's daughters, the two that they have met in the campaign, yes, thank you, Bill, are anti-paladins. So, yes, and you know
they weren't nurtured enough.
So Mistrine, so Mistrine sends his anti-paladin daughters out there to just cause trouble. Lets them go and have at it. You know, it's like, you're grown up now.
Have they been tempted to kill their father? Because that right there is a bold anti-paladin move right there.
It is, but no, because that would take the fun out of it for me. They're meant to harass player characters, not.
Well, we don't know. Some of them may have tried.
So I had two of the daughters appear in the campaign in the last 25 years. And they've been fun both times. And one time I had the trap set where they came across her and she was fighting a bunch of Iusian Orogs and had some of her men around down. And they, so I kind of tricked them because she was the last one down, but it turned out as expected. I love anti-paladins, as you all know. So Mistrine's daughters are roaming about, causing trouble in the campaign. And that way I don't have to actively have Mistrine come out, right? I can use almost avatars of Mistrine. Because I'm not one who's big on getting rid of great antitheses right away, right? They stay around for a while. So
yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, I have it that Mistrine is fairly old, so he doesn't want to go out and take to weapons himself, and he doesn't want to risk it. Risk management is has been his business, so to speak. That's what he's been doing. That's why he ended up here in the first place, and he doesn't want to risk it. So he's the more one. He will bribe someone to go somewhere else and bully and bribe and threaten, but not directly. So he much rather hire someone else to go and pester and stuff. So he pays Turismak, for instance, he pays him off heavily too, and kind of builds
thanks,
rapport with almost everybody, and willing, but he pays them, but not too much, so to speak. And yeah, so he wants to stay under the radar and be a so-called good businessman. So yeah,
I've not changed it. Go ahead. No, go, Tim, please.
I was going to say this is one of the features of DMing that I have adopted from Jay, and that is never let a nemesis or really bad villain get used up too fast.
Exactly. Yep.
Keep them around because
Thank you, Tim.
It really creates a glorious moment when you triumph eventually, but it also is fun to have that. Oh, you really hate that individual, and then you get to foil their plans, and so that's always extra fun. So never let a good villain get killed too easily if you can. So if it's fair and square, it's fair and square.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great point, and Tim, and thank you for that. And I, like I said, I've learned a lot from you too in my days. It's worked both ways, which has really been wonderful. But I appreciate the compliment on that. It's there. And I always have said this. I regret not keeping Lareth the Beautiful around, and that just going back to the original Hamlet. I mean, what a great character. That is the best. One of the best ones in the first adventure.
Here's Lareth's problem. He's dumb. He only has 9 intelligence.
That's true.
He's not really a mastermind. So he doesn't know when to quit or doesn't know when to run. He doesn't come up with a creative plan. He's just using his charisma too much and not using his intelligence to come up with a better plan.
That's true. So true. And we did Ruins, by the way, on Wednesday's Legends and Lore, and specifically discussed. That was the first one I brought up, which is the classic one of all time.
I was just thinking about that, actually, about how when I ran it for my son and his friend, they got him. I was like, they couldn't get away. They get boxed in that back room and they can't get out, and they just got killed. He got killed. So I think I want to have him raised.
That's a good idea.
They didn't burn him. They didn't burn. They didn't burn the body, and he's highly favored. So
Blue. The reason I didn't finish my thought in there. The reason I don't, when it comes to collaboration and special events and stuff, I keep that date fluid, and it's just like it's bad TV editing. All right, so the date's different from other dates. Doesn't matter, But yeah, it's been moving forward. We try and not stress what because it's so far removed from the Ashes campaign or Living Greyhawk campaign that it's kind of immaterial what the date is. But yes, I do keep track of it. It's a good question. All right, so a recent adventure that we did with the Headhunters involved the Pascarel Cockatrice Riders, and we just did this one. It was the last one we did a couple weeks ago, and let me get that up here. And that was adventure number, I believe it's 966. No, it wasn't. Oh my gosh, was it 960? What the frickin' one was it? 964. This is me. There it is. Okay, it was 964, and it was called The Truce. And I'll just throw this up on here. So the Truce was, and this is the fight. This is the Pascarel Headhunters. Pascarel Cockatrice Riders came out, and this is an area to the southeast along the road, and the Headhunters are making a truce with the Cockatrice Riders, who are bandits and have a lot of humanoids in their group, but they both realize that in order to survive, they need to get along. So a truce is made. A simple task. They ask them to do a task. When that happens, at that point, Mastrine's men show up, and there's a big fight. And if you had seen that, that's what happened. And once again, I'm not having Mastrine show up because a 15th level guy. I had minions of Mastrine show up, and we had a big fight there. And at the end, they had to go down after that fight, and a lot of them were damaged. And I don't have actual action pictures, but down into the here, and they fought a Bahir. There was a Bahir underneath it. They had to clear out that tower that they wanted to utilize. So that was what we did from this, and that was one of the last adventures that we had done with the original group of Narwell Headhunters, which are now 4th and 5th level. And that was this area here, north, this red dot right here. So if we show this dot, roughly in this area here, they had to go to. And once again, it's not marked on the map, but maybe I'll have Anna do it after the fact, because it's a lot easier to go along. It's a lot easier to come on trails when you're trying to trade than it is to go off into the plains, and it's all boggy, swampy. So that was the idea, but Mastrine didn't like that, and that's where we stopped. Now we're doing the new first levels, and those characters are really cool. I don't know if any of you caught. Let me just show you a picture of them, and then we'll go on and talk about other Wild Coast locations. So I know Anna's got some really unbelievable thoughts about this area coming up too. All right, and once again, as you can see, Bill's like, except for this old, and there's the Dr. Smith miniature, right? This is Zachary Smith, but these are, if you look at these, wow, Bill's really. All these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They're all new paint jobs for all these characters, which we do. So you got, here's a straight fighter. That's Kara. You have the bounty hunter mage, Sabine, and you have a Knight of the Chase, which is that new class I did from Creighton Bardhurst from 3rd edition. Back did a Knight of the Chase. Archer Druid, Dwarven Priest of Baranar. Fighter Mage. That's Alan's Fighter Mage. That's Tom's Cleric Maester. Tom's Fighter Thief. And then Wally didn't play last week. He has an Archer Ranger and a Greyhawk Mage of Tensor, brand new. So yeah, some great works. And this is the Sundered Spear, and that's where we started. So new generation of characters, all first level. And they've headed out here, and we got an adventure going on. They're fighting a bunch of skeletons now, and that's where we started. So, Anna, you got some separate thoughts from me. Yes, that's an owlbear rug. Yes, that is.
That's the coolest mini.
I know, everyone always sees that. Like, what is that?
Yeah, it's so cool. It's yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
Owlbear,
It's an owlbear
owlbear
rug.
rug.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, it's so awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So.
Don't trip on the beak.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So a neat little 3D print there. So, and we're getting more and more stuff to change up the insides of inns. Just note we're working on that. It's just Bill's only got so many hours in the day, and he's chained down there. So it's
I know real life is just interfering with the game and in
it
hobby.
does, doesn't it? Real life interferes all the time.
Yeah, it's really a pain.
So this northern, if you're running an area, if you're running from the Ashes, this area here, okay, from Wyvern and up is free lands. South, from there south is all Tarashmak terrain. It's depending on what you are doing. All right. Just note that this is the line of demarcation if you're running it from the Ashes era adventure.
Yep.
His Prince's meals are at least decent. Gruel sandwiches, just like Michael Scott says in The Office. It's all gruel. What are your thoughts, Anna, on what's going to happen in the Wild Coast and yours?
Yeah, it's kind of now I'm looking for, meaning I run my Shieldlands campaign now, and it will probably go on for a few more years.
Okay,
but now I'm already eyeing out what campaign to run next, and I wanted to make use of the Altamira map and the Altamira work that I've done. So I'm going to expand it in the future for my own campaign, and then it will of course be available for the whole Greyhawk community. So I'm thinking about doing an Elven campaign, and to set it in Selene, because I've never done a proper Elven campaign ever. So now I'm developing concept and ideas and stuff. And one of my because I always have to have political machinations. They have to be part of my game, so to speak. So one of the things is that now the Selene and Greyhawk are now scheming to actually join forces and cut up the Tarasmak's Orcish empire, so to speak. So the Greyhawk want to have the northern part, the part down to around Cantona and that part, so to speak. And then Selene is going to grab the area from Elred to Fax and a little bit north of it. And so they're going to Greyhawk going to attack from the north, and Selene is going to attack from the west and then encircle the northern orcs that are around there and then secure that area, so to speak, because they want to back from historical point of view, because go back 1,000, 2,000 years, that was an elven port, and that was the elven coastline
Elred?
Before. Oh yeah, from and Fax especially and
stuff.
Okay.
That
was an elven coast back 2,000 years ago, long before then all the immigration happened and they retreated in and that kind of idea and then defended their core land, so to speak. And the first was the Sul that came in, the Sul that formed Keoland were the first one who came in and caused trouble, and then they reached some sort of kind of compromise, and that's how the Ulick state was born. That was the compromise between the Keoland and Selene. And then and then come the hateful wars and stuff afterwards, and created the Pomarch debacle that led to Keoland abandoning the area, so to speak. And that meant that the Selene got way more lonely fighting the orcs from the Pomarch and stuff. So they kind of kept it. That was the first reason that in my campaign that the Wild Coast was not settled by anybody, because it was already run over by various unruly factions from everywhere. It was the dumping ground for everything, basically. And then the Origin and the Great Kingdom came, and Hardby was already a town and a city, and then Greyhawk started to grow, and the Great Kingdom started to conquer. But the Wild Coast was kind of left to its own devices, because I guess even the Erdi saw that area as either Elven or Keoish. And they didn't want to step on either's toe. They had enough land to conquer, so they didn't want to stir up too much animosity. And you had all the humanoids and stuff to contend with. So I think the Erdi was smart enough for once and didn't pick more enemies than they needed, so to speak. But they stayed out of it, and that's when we got into the situation we have today, so to speak. And now the Selene feel like now they're built strength for some hundreds of years, and now they can advance, and they're starting to they build the political underpinnings, and they also now can speak on equal terms with the people in Greyhawk and Divers, and also they settled the Kioish case. That's the most important for Selene and the Ulex. So the Selene and Ulek have made peace and made up with Keoland, because Keoland in my campaign is used to be an old, very powerful empire, and it's still a lot of pomp and circumstance, but they're starting to grow stale. They don't have the ambition of doing anything really. It's old, dogmatic, and they talk about they have their ceremonies and they show off all their symbols and so on and so forth. A lot of pomp and circumstance is very important in Keoland, but they lost their mojo. They don't go on quests anymore, and so on and so forth. It's starting to change, and the new young king in Keoland, he was keen on kind of once and for all settle the issues with the elves and stuff. So what happened was that the Selene and the dwarfs, they kind of came up with the idea that Selenians, they paid both the dwarfs and the Kioish to get the principality of Ulick to be recognized as a full kingdom. And the dwarfs were like, yes, someone wants to give us money, and we can say that our dwarf is a king. He's a real king. He got recognition by all the major powers, meaning Furundi and Shieldlands and Greyhawk in this case, and Valuna. And he got like full status. So it's now the kingdom of Ulick, and they got the name Ulick. And the county and the duchy, said they got, Selene paid off Keoland and got the recognition from the dwarves, and they took over most of that area, and that is now under the Elven Empire, so to speak, and under Selene, where most of the elves live. And some areas where mostly humans live are still under Kioish rule. And that was the big push, so to speak. And they kind of, and the new king in Keoland, he got it settled, so to speak. He got money, and he got to keep some of the areas where they were, and he lost the elven problem in his sense, so to speak. He didn't have to govern over other types of creatures that didn't really like him to be governed over, and that was a constant squabble with Selene and stuff. So now they can start building real cordial relations from they recognized each others as equals. That was part of the deal, so to speak, in diplomatic terms, because it's very important in diplomatic circles who you recognize as superior, inferior, or in equal terms. So they both recognize each other's at full sovereign states, so to speak, and empires in that sense, that they have provinces and all that stuff on equal terms with Furundi and Nairon. So that's part of it. And now the elves, with the help from Greyhawk and probably even the dwarfs, are now going to go on a hunt for Turishmak. They want to take and at least cut down his empire to the peninsula on the Pomarsh, so to speak. That's the first goal, to take back the Wild Coast. So Greyhawk will get the northern part, and Selene will get the middle part, and then whatever can be grabbed in the south will go to the kingdom of Ulick. So that will be that's how I'm. Yep. So that's the my political thinking. Then I have to kind of drill down that to things that happens in operations and cool things that could tie into low-level play. But that's kind of the big political picture in this area. So I'm in 598. So we are like 15 years after the war. So yeah. Yeah.
So Anna and I met because I was doing a Shieldland Gabbin, I think, and Anna thought I was Robert Wardall.
Yeah. I thought that after Mark had described your campaign.
Yes.
I saw Robert Wardall's video afterwards when I came back from Gen Con, and I was like, oh, that must be the guy that Mark talked about.
That's so awesome.
Yep.
So I had a quick question. What sort of do you, I mean, obviously elves live 1,000 years or so. So obviously politically they got the long game of all long games.
Yep.
So do you have like these centuries long political moves that they plan on making?
Oh yeah. The elves, meaning the elves are now fully realizing now that IUCN is growing. The Aird threat is no longer a threat, meaning now they have to start working with them and stuff like that. But it took like 200, meaning the Aird starting to fall apart 400 years ago.
Yeah.
And the elves are now 400 years later fully realize that now we need to work with these people and strike deals with them, see them as equals. They started with Voluna. That was the realm they really, Voluna and Febobonk are close because they have special treaties and always had. So that's how it started. But they settle with that and say, okay, we have friends there we can trust. That was enough. But now they started, and they also realized that now is the chance to grab Greyhawk's attention and start working with them. And because the Greyhawk, they are not good or evil, they're just greedy. And they want things to run and money to flow in, and that's about it. They don't care who runs whatever outside, as long as they can trade and earn money, and that's it. So yeah.
Do you have like major political players in the elfdom, and then and then some of them may have conflicting plans or conflicting goals, so they're kind of like working counter, and so it's possible for characters to bump into that stuff
a little bit.
They won't ever know why necessarily, but they could bump into it.
Oh yeah, there's like separate, and there's also there is a deceivement because Selene officially barely has no foreign policy, but then secretly they have the Knights of Luna, that is the organization that is very active and doing it, and every time they get caught and someone saying it, then it's not official Selene policy. We don't have a policy. We ignore the rest of the world, and then they have agents that are very much active, helping good people everywhere and people, their friends, and building friendships. But it's all in the secret, and they're building it for a century or so down the line. So it's kind of the next generation. And they're also building, they also have other relationship with dragons and stuff, for instance, that they start having, that will have a profound impact 300-500 years down in time.
Right, because their lifespans are similar.
Yep. So that's why so in my campaign, elves and dragondom goes along because they think in the same generational terms. So they can strike a bargain with the dragon, and knowing that that dragon's descendant kids or wormlings down the road, hatchlings, will be a great asset in 500 years from now, and stuff. So they strike these really long-term bargains.
So a major difference between Anna and I, which is cool, and there's nothing wrong with it, is I am fearful of Anna's, what she does macro-wise is I'm scared of. I'm scared of doing it because I don't know if I can pull it off. Like, for example, should there be a great campaign to retake the Pomarsh? Probably.
Yeah.
But I'm scared to do it. So instead, we do ours in little bits and pieces where we got Watchers Towers.
Well, organizing it would be trying, wouldn't it?
But that's the thing. When that's the happenings on the high political
the political
level. But then you have to, meaning I have to then start thinking, okay, now we have a set of first level beginner elves that are getting introduced into the adult elvendom, so to speak, and they're going to find like their jobs in this, what they want to do.
Right.
And then I have to figure out what kind of job openings are this kind of environment creating for them, so to speak. Do they, and might be, my campaign might be a chance to say, okay, they want to join the Knights of Luna. And then it will be, okay, what kind of recruitment scheme will the Knights of Luna have? What kind of training missions will they send their prospects on, etc., and so on and so forth? What kind of stuff will these new recruits run into and have to be put through in order to obtain their status as members, for instance? And what other kind of organizations or stuff can young elves that want to get in the world, so to speak, what kind of things would they come up with? But the thing is, I'll keep these big politics in mind because that sets the stage for what other cool little things in local things can happen, so to speak, in that area. I've done the same thing with Shieldlands in this campaign.
Yeah.
So you have to think both high level and macro and low level at the same time.
So BB, in my campaign, I have the High Folk and Selene chat. And actually have representatives crossing over.
Yeah.
All right, because they are elven kingdoms, but Sundi is too far away. The Sylvan, they leave the Sylvan elves alone, and then I'm not a big fan of Grey Elves, High Elves, and Sylvan Elves all join. I don't think they would join together because the Sylvan Elves are clannish here in this gnarly area, and it's kind of like Mirkwood Elves, right? Almost similar. They want to be left to their doings in there.
And the Wild Elves are even a more extreme version.
Yeah, and the Wild Elves exist, and they exist up here, right? They exist up here.
For me, it's kind of interesting.
You can't see that because I'm on the screen.
Yeah. All the Wild Elves, the High Elves, and the Grey Elves are all elves when they're born, so to speak. The difference is that some of them are more like urbanized, high culture, and some of them more rural, live in small communities out in the forest. They are the kind of the Sylvan Elves or the Wild Elves. And then there's some are so remote that they barely interact with the other ones that just live in the fringes of elvendom. They're the Grouch. They are the same physical elves, so to speak. So there's no difference physically. And then when they grow older, if they keep their ties to the Seldarin, the elven faith, and they stay true to it, when they get like 400, 500, 600 years or something like that, when they grow old, so to speak, starting to grow old, that's when they can take and they can stay true to the Seldarin. And if they do, they get the option of becoming Grey Elves, and that's basically they embrace their fade ancestry and become true Fae, and they live on as Grey Elves. And that's the political class, meaning the elves that are old and wise and been around long enough to rule things. They are chaotic after all. So the young ones, meaning to stay out of politics, that's for the old dudes that have been around for 500 years to figure out, because you need to have that perspective. Otherwise, you're too young to understand these things in elven society. You need to go out and fight and learn and get dry behind your pointy ears, and then you can join the grown-ups, and that's when. So Grey Elves, they are old and wise and still capable, and then they can go on and they become more and more Fae, and eventually they will kind of abandon life on prime material plane and go to the Feywild or something. Eventually they get bored after so long, so to speak, and so that's where they that's how I have it, so to speak. But some elves also say that no, that worship the elven gods and staying true to old traditions is not my thing, so to speak. So they break out, like Keek, that even worships is one of Ayu's people, so to speak. They stay normal elves and they become like abandoned elves, that elves say, and they will probably die at 400 or 500 years old or something from old age, because they don't embrace their faedom. So they don't get that chance to do it, so to speak. Drow is different. They broke off from the regular elves long time ago. The Valley Elves is the same thing.
Yeah, Valley Elves.
There might be other elves somewhere else that also have broken off.
There's also another group of elves in the Underdark.
Yeah.
And Earthseer. So they're kind of like elves that went underground but weren't demon worshippers.
Yep. Yep. So I have that. There are probably other groups out in the world that I haven't figured it out yet, so to speak, that also abandon the Seldarin or the traditional elven faith that we have in Selene, High Folk, and Vestfi. And to me, it's a whole long band, and that's why they have a special treaty with High Folk and Viluna, that elves have free passage and stuff. So the Rao priests and so on in Mitrik and Viluna City and stuff, they have a special relationship with the elves. So they have like a mutual defense treaty and stuff. So yeah.
Right. So that's where and we respectfully.
I know that. I know that it's
on the elves.
Yeah,
but that's okay.
Yeah, it's different. And I know that mine is different from the normal, so to speak.
Anna's elves go along with the abyssal trolls.
Yes, which is okay. I mean,
yeah, they are nasty. Yeah.
I love having the difference between Sylvan and Grey Elves, especially in this area of the Gnarly, where Sylvan Elves are just inherently clannish, and they're written up that way, whereas Grey Elves are more metropolitan. And I have them as, estate driven, whereas they're not clannish. But that's okay. I mean, there's nothing. What did Len think of Len or elves? Don't ask.
Yeah.
Don't ask that question. Len will turn over. Len.
I would say they could be any sort of high or Sylvan elves that, culturally adapted to Lendor, and then maybe you have cultural differences, as opposed to being a separate sort of thing, right? That's a way to explain it without like adding weird game rules to it.
Yeah, understood. But what do you do with humans, Soulish and Bakaluni, who destroyed each other? I mean, it's the same thing with humans. Are they different? Are they the same? They have different cultures. They're humans, but they're different cultures. I can understand that. But they, the Flans, or you got all and we don't talk about the Rennie because they're not from this planet, right? So
it depends how you see it. That's one of the things that Rhodey, maybe they're from another planet, or they say they're from another planet. But
I think a sea-going or barge-going or river traveling, cultural group of people is totally plausible and totally in place. Has a good place.
Yeah, I did not like that they're from another planet. I hated that.
No, but the
I
world
would never
is big,
accept that.
Exactly, the world is big, so yeah.
Well, we're going to be working on that, Rob, as you know, because the lands to the south of Altamira are the Elven lands in Arid, and I'm just flipping Selene and that, reverse in the box set. So, all right, if you want another area of huge importance when it comes to Wild Coast information, it's the Slavers reference here, and you'd be surprised how much is in here. There's a ton. There's a lot of updates. Talking about all these lands, as you can see. So all these lands are discussed all the way down. Noldare is not, and we'll get to Noldare. But
it's interesting. Slavers is one of these few that is half source book, half adventure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that's what I like. I think there's an adventure lying behind the scenes a little bit that you can run. And all the Marquesses are in here, the different Marquesses. Running all up and down this area, but you even have divers discussed in here, Hardby, and then here's a Slaver's Cove and near Deve, and then as you get further and further down, there's some great points, and you got Hardby, and then there's our favorite person, Alita Norbalos, right?
Let's just say, the best part of the Slavers is, one, you have a villain that you can really want to kill. And there's nothing more satisfying than slaughtering all of the guys who are slavers. I mean, it's the best villain ever for just, weapons free, go. And you don't have to worry about sparing too many.
No, 100%. I agree. 100%.
That's what's so great about having slavers as the bad guys. I did the same thing with my own campaign. When you have some slavers involved, you feel justified when you kind of put them out of everybody's misery. So that's what I like about that.
Yep. Lord Forth, according to D's and Demigods, if I recall correctly, that's what it says. So you have Wyvern here, run by a priest of Hextor and a bunch of evil gnomes, which I love. It's just this is in the Wild Coast. You have all these other locations that are discussed. High Pass, Ors. These are on the other side, unfortunately. It's mixed in. So you got actually both sides, which I wish they had separated it out more. And you have slaver bases. There's Marquesa the Black. All right, so you got multiple Marquesas here, which is wonderful if you're really into that. Cantona. Now I want to go over this. I love. Here's Cantona, right here. And Cantona is basically an anti-magic zone, and so and this is where you also have Malentes out here, which are like the mute. If you believe it, there's mutants of Sahagwin, and this is where the Malenti are in this area of. And you can see there's a whole anti-magic zone about here. So if you're a spellcaster, you really don't want to go here. They also have instruments of war, like a flamethrower, war wagons, mantlets, all sorts of stuff here. So because they can't use magic, which I find neat. There's a picture of some Malenti, and this is all just Wild Coast areas. Aspis are in this area too. Remember from the original A1, there's Aspis, which are like Ant-Men, right? And you got them, and then you continue down. You got a lot of great adventure hooks. As you continue down, here's the Orcish area of the Wild Coast. You got Elrid. If you go by this, the slavers control Elrid and the port of Elrid. This is Davis the Reaver and Marquesa the Gold's Point. You got this gentleman Braxham, a wonderful necromancer, and that's a skeletal drider. What a great idea! My guess is Sean Reynolds came up with that idea.
That's a terrible idea.
Yeah, it's a great idea. We have this adventuring group. you have a specialty priest of Kellan along with a specialty priest of Merlin together, which is neat. And they're all here in this area, running south all the way down. Fax really isn't detailed well.
No, it's not. As soon as you get below Safeton, everything, or Cantona up there, it's kind of
Elrid's
disappears.
good. Elrid's done well. Elrid's done well as far as
that is
detail, but Fax is not at all. I mean, Fax still needs
it's
work.
forgotten. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's Davis the Reaver, Pyera, and then God, what's his name? The guy who's the trainer there, the Myrmidon. That's the Myrmidon trainer who's neutral. Oh gosh, I forget his name. Rurik the Taskmaster. That's it. So there's some great stuff in this book as well in the Slavers. So you have your options for really developing more things in the Wild Coast. There's a lot of great published source here, and there's a lot of cool adventure hooks. And then you get down to the Pomage. So it's really done well, all the way down to, it's kind of like Fax and Badwater just forgotten, and they just jump down to Elrid. So Fax and Badwater really need some development. Yep, which you can do yourself, which is kind of neat as far as some ideas. But when you come down here, let's talk about this. I know, Blue, you said you're nearby here. This is a dragon adventure. It's actually in Dungeon. I'm sorry, it's in Dungeon Magazine.
Dungeon, yeah.
Yep. It's high level. I know I have it here. All right. Abandoned and forgotten ruins never are. So I'll bring up one picture from it. Oh, cool. That's good, Blue. You're developing Bladwell. That's awesome. Oh, that is not a tiefling. There are. Who did that artwork? I can't. Something. I can't.
Oh,
I don't like
cool.
tieflings.
It's a Cambion.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's from Ruins of Null Terror. Blue, do you remember what dungeon number that is? I don't have that down. So that's an adventure that's done in this area, which is cool. I don't want to. I won't say it that much because they don't want to call them Alu Demons and Cambions. I'm fine with that, and they want to give it a small percent. It's number 13. Okay, we're not checking 100%, but it is.
What are you talking about, Jay?
The Ruins of Null Dare. What dungeon number that is in?
Oh,
yeah.
And the way you were saying about they didn't want to call them.
They wanted Forgotten Realms went this direction because people can be 1/8 demon or whatever, and they can be tieflings, and they just wanted to get away from the word demons, devils. I understand that. That's fine. But I use as a Cambion, right? So 13. Thank you, Jim, and thank you, Blue. It's a good adventure. It's higher level. I think it's levels 8 through 10. Am I correct in remembering that? So you got an adventure right here that is that you can run. Which is that's where Anna has placed it. Also, if you get a hold of it, it's way down here, but you can move it. Anna and I placed a Hidden Temple of Erithnol, which is from Vortex number 8 down here, but you can always move that into the Wild Coast. It may make sense throwing it in the northern part of the Sus instead of the southern part of the Sus. It works for me in the southern part of the Sus just because of my campaign is, a lot of outposts are here. So 68 players, level 5 to 8. Okay, thank you. So that can be moved up further if you so choose. And then here's the argument point: is Highport in the Wild Coast or the Pomage or both? Thoughts, either one? Anna?
I like the frontier idea of on the edge.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that Highport is Wild Coast. I think it's the southern end of Wild Coast because it was one of these cities that was built along the coast, just like the other ones. So yeah.
Lost City of the Sus is Atraca. It's in the it's rumored to be somewhere in the Sus Forest. Anna placed it there. It's in your novels as well. So but it can be moved almost. You can move it wherever you so choose.
I think Pomage, I think it should belong to the Pomage, but they use it as that nexus point to the rest because you have, in order to make the money you want to make, in order to do the business you want to do, you have to have a place that's habitable by those others, that non-humanoids. And so that's why I think it should be kind of a frontier maybe the Pomar owns the real estate, but there's a lot of other tenants in there, and they kind of run it. I like the way your concept of running it when you ran the Highport games.
Tim and I had a whole Highport one-on-one adventuring, and look what's remaining there. Lord Page's estate.
I
is
saw
right there.
Lord Page's estates. Be careful. Be careful.
Yes.
Don't go there frivolously. I'll tell you that.
And Mike's character, Sir Vargren the Unmerciful. That's where he's from. It's a hop, skip, and a jump to Altamira. He'll be back. He'll be back in a couple of weeks. So you have a lot of reference books in order. I would go with, if you want the most detail, that's From the Ashes. With all the second is Slavers, third is Free City Girl box set.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, Tim, sure, no problem.
You should kind of get all three of them if you want to adventure in this area. And it's PDFs from drive-through. They cost like maybe $10 at the most. Some of them probably 10, $15, something like that each, I think.
Jim, we'll discuss that on Wednesday, but here's my so Alyssa has done Waltham. I highly would recommend it to Alyssa. Let's get Blue done next, because as a port, I see it as a pirate port. It's not done. There's not a lot of discussion on it. I don't think it's anything like Highport. I really don't. I think it's just it's more like Scullow Cove. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I have it as it's the Scarlet Brotherhood's outpost, because Scarlet Brotherhood are the ones propping up Tourist Mac. They're giving him resources and stuff like that, as a way of both keeping the Strait of Gernot under their control. So they hold on to Scand and Blue, and also as a way of gaining influence and screwing up for other areas, so to speak. And so they are the ones, maybe the only ones that really have a chance to because IUs would love to support him, but he's too far away, so he can't really send. But the Scarlet Brotherhood can send resources their way. So Blue is their outpost, so to speak, that where they and it's also a fallback position for Tourist Mac. So he kind of goes there and negotiate with the Scarlet Brotherhood and stuff. So it's full of humanoids and humans, and it's also one of these areas where Scarlet Brotherhood sends a lot of their young yahoos that causes problem. They can send them to that frontier to learn things, and they will be Tourist Mac's problem, so to speak. So it's an interesting place, in my campaign.
Very cool. So I want to show you what's to come in this area for me. We all have seen Bill's. This is Bill's Reaper ship, which is done, right? So that is going to be used within the next couple of weeks in our campaign, and I'm going to tie that in with what's in my hand here. All right, and this is Carlos Lysing's one of his newer adventures. This is adventure number A9, Thicker Than Water. And there's Sly Ketta on the cover, right? So that's going to be coming soon. So this is going to be a Hardby actual based adventure, but it's going to be running in this area of the Wild Coast. So one of the Hardby groups, probably the Hardby Irregulars, the highest level group, is going to be undertaking this, and we're gonna place something somewhere along here. Her base is noted in the book. And then we're going to utilize that ship and the other ships we have, and I'm going to expand on the water-based combat that a lot on this adventure, and kind of tack it onto the beginning of the adventure there. And that's what's to come for us, and that's why Bill's been working on that. He's also working on a ton of pirate miniatures, a lot of Christine Van Patten's pirate minis that she has done. I've been working on them, which is great. Mm-hmm. So we have that coming. And that's what's going to happen coming up in a couple weeks. So, but for now, the Narwell, the first level Narwells are in Singing Groves, which is somewhere here in this area on the way to Newbriar. And when they're done on Thursday, they're going to continue onward to Newbriar. I don't know if they know that or not, but they're not just going back; they're continuing onward. So I got other stuff planned. In fact, I'm going to show something I got planned. Because it's probably only Bill on right now. If Bill not me, Bill's not on anymore. Good. Well, good or bad. So there you go. Anyone know this one?
No, I don't think I've ever seen that. It's
Dungeon Magazine.
Yeah. It's 3rd edition. Because I saw from the layout, it looks like a 3rd edition.
I'm not sure.
It looks like
It looked old.
Yeah, the
well,
font and
it
stuff
is.
was
I
from-
printed it out. I'm trying to figure out what dungeon I got this. But
Was
I've
it a
been
photocopy?
I try and research out. I just printed it, but I don't remember which one it's from actually, because they never say on here which. Grodog has it on his site and recommended it. So you know what? Let's push out. Let's see if I can do this. Let's see if I can do this.
March, April 2002.
So it is 3rd edition.
3E. Yep.
Yeah.
According to Greyhawk Online.
Yeah. So
I just did a search.
Grodog's Greyhawk.
Oh, shit.
We go to
Dungeon 91.
Is it Dungeon 91? Okay. Here we go. Greyhawk and Dungeon Adventures. This is a good thing. This is Grodog. So just go to Greyhawk. This is Grodog's site, Alan Growy. And then you have all these things that have references to Greyhawk in them. And you come down here. And here it is. The Legend of Garth. This short, clever mystery adventure occurs along the edge of the gnarly forest. Wow. Perfect. Near the river Celentan, a trading post run by a gnome terrorized by an elven legend. More properly. Yeah, yep. So slide over a little. There you go. Cool. Yep, that's the cover. You know what? I probably have that in here, and I'm being stupid. I probably prepped it, and I prepped this out a week. No, I don't say it.
But I Googled it.
Yeah. But that is
And
the
just
cover.
in the interim, downloaded
Never on
it.
cover, if I recall correctly. So yeah, and that's the adventure there that we're doing. We're going to do down the road too. So trying to give them some stuff we've never done before, some published source stuff. The one I'm doing is at homebrew right now. I just like to find stuff and mix it in and prep out, and I always am trying to be ahead, always trying to plan ahead, because real life, if you don't, as a DM, you all know this, if you don't plan ahead, you're going to be in for a rough session with your players.
Yeah.
Yeah. You need to and I try and plan ahead a couple weeks out because all the stuff that's always going on. So,
or you have to fake it.
Or you have to fake it, and faking it, all the women can tell when you're faking it. Just kidding.
Oh, you sure about that?
No, they are not. No, they cannot.
That was a good one, Hannah. Yes.
No, they can't tell.
I couldn't resist.
I have been toying with using this too in this area to the north of Comray, Anna, in this area here, putting a little hill here and running this. Yeah, a little, just a little hill
there.
Just a little hill. Yeah.
How am I going to solve that one?
Well, I don't even know if we need to even put the hill there. But
it depends on how big the hill is.
I think, Doug Niles again.
It doesn't need to be a major terrain feature.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I may run parts of this too. Far in the hill.
Yeah.
There. From this.
And every pixel on that map is like almost a mile, and so it's like half a mile or a third of a mile or something like that.
Yeah. So it's like right here.
The detail is kind of detail is terrible. So yeah.
Nope.
That's why I don't mind adding forests and wooded areas in the barrens.
Thank you for the follow.
Because they're not ever 30 miles across. It's always a smaller collections of areas that are in low ground and things like that. So I don't.
And look at this. These dots are 50 miles apart, right?
No, 50. Not 50 miles, but they're probably. Oh, yeah. Those are 10 miles away. They're 10 miles from each other.
Each dot's 10?
The small ones. There's a big dot every 50 miles.
Yeah, the pink ones.
No, they're same color. It's just that every 50 miles. Oh,
okay. That's 50. Okay, yes. I got it.
That is much bigger.
They're each 10.
Small dots are 10, and the big ones are 50. Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny, Obsidian. So there's plenty of room here to put in stuff, so to have fun with and do things. One last. All right, I know I talked about this on Ruins, but here's Varnafane. There's Varnafane. It's in the From the Ashes box set. It is only. I found that. That's it. That is it on the Varnafane blurb. What's that? 3 paragraphs. 3 paragraphs. That's it. From that, I turned it into a series of articles in our journal. This has been ongoing for decades. All this stuff happened then I wrote the Earth Journal article. 4 of the 6 Varnafane axes have been found in the campaign. We actually, the last adventure we had, you saw Brolin, who has one of the 4 especially priest, a dwarven specialty priest at Clangeddon. So and then Axel Walt's character from Purple Goat, so they're actually being used. There's still 2 missing in the campaign, and that's a long-term plot, like higher level we were going to use in this. Hey Dale, good to see you. So a note that that's going on, and I was really happy to get that into Earth Journal some time ago. So you have options here. You don't have to go with Narwell. You can start a safety campaign would be great, because you got Turin Deathstalker there. A Cockatrice Riders, if you want a little bit on the nastier side, good idea.
Yeah,
because they're allied with humanoids and they are bad.
How do they ride? Do they actually ride?
No, they wear a cockatrice feather in their hat.
Yeah, exactly. So they don't.
They ride horses.
that will be something. Maybe put tiny halflings or something. So yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think
I killed a couple of them during that adventure when Mistrine's guy showed up. They killed them. Only 1 or 2 of them got away. Have you ever done a Legend on sentient weapons in Greyhawk? No. That's a great idea. We've done some artifacts, but we should do. That's a great idea, Rob. You know what? Maybe we do that the week after next. I'm gonna write that down now, because my 55-year-old brain won't remember.
Yeah, all the sentient ones I messed with have been non Greyhawk.
Sentient / named weapons.
Yeah.
Okay, good idea, Rob. Group hug, yeah, absolutely. Great idea, because we're always looking for ideas in Legend lore. We're doing Pomars this week, Wednesday, because Joe Block's coming back on, and he had, he did enter the Pomars and Die article, so we're good there. So some other real cool places. Wyvern Inn is really cool. If you want to take a group to Wyvern Inn and help them defend this place with the Priest of Hextor, no one gets it. You don't leave here, right? And he paints the walls red with orc blood. It's a really fun, and that's a little blurb, probably half a page in the Slavers.
Well, what else are you going to paint it with?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's a great place to have adventuring. Cantona, raiding in and out of Cantona into this anti-magic zone. That's a neat thing too. I really, we go in there a lot of times. When the Slavers take someone or kidnap someone of high importance, before they head further south to the Pomars, this is their stop point, because they know that they're not going to be tracked by mages into here. So they, Hardby adventure groups have had to go into Cantona, the outskirts, multiple times to rescue people. So a neat place there. So questions from the audience.
Yeah,
its advantages almost makes it a reason not to go there.
Well, yeah, but it's some things function sometimes, but when we venture in there, it's a challenge. It's a challenge to certain groups. So, but once again, facts, bad wall need development. It sounds like Blue's doing some bad wall development, which is awesome. Elrid's got development in the Slavers, and then we said Highport. The map is awful. Aaron Frokes is way better, but this we will consider that the southern tip of the Wild Coast, running all the way up. One of my favorite areas in Greyhawk. A lot going on. It's almost like Bandit Kingdom city states, right?
Yeah.
You can't trust anyone ever. So Cantona.
Sure you can.
Yeah. The area of Cantona that has the anti-magic zone is there. I got a map that shows that.
What's the explanation for that, Jay?
Ancient magics. Something ancient happened.
So they don't know.
Exactly. So there it is. That's the map from the Slavers.
So it's an anti-magic shell around the whole place.
Yep.
So magic doesn't work inside?
Nope. There's rules on it. There's rules on the percent. Like if you cast a 7th level mage spell, I think it's about at best 50% chance of it working.
All right.
It's not 100%. It doesn't work.
Sounds like a great place to assault with a bunch of mundane forces.
Well, remember they have war machines here, like flamethrower machines, like in the original Dr. No, if you remember that thing.
I don't remember.
Oh, you don't? When they said the dragon's coming, when they were in the Bahamas or Jamaica or whatever, and it was a big.
I'm not talking about the movie. I'm talking about here. I'm not familiar with this as well as.
They got a lot of those war machines here to defend.
They got
which is cool.
technology instead of magic.
Yes, which is neat.
Do they have powder there for their cannons?
No, there aren't any cannons. It's more like
That'd
catapults.
be a great spot for it, though,
Yeah,
right?
Yes, it would. Yes, it would. But once again, I don't think any specialty priests of Merlin are going to be helping them out there.
I'm a proponent for black powder in the Greyhawk.
I know you are, and
I know. I'm just saying it out there in case anyone else didn't know.
They need autocannon like the Invincible
I mean,
Overlord. Yes, Dale.
In a world where I do this with a little bit of this and this, and I can make things explode into fire, cannons are a little bit, they have,
So Dale, Tim has threatened me with sea-based Invincible Overlord adventuring coming up, and it's scaring me.
It's coming.
Wow.
Yeah, it's going to be bad. My Cavalier's scared.
It's going to be more than one session. It'll be more than one session.
Okay, that's fine. That's all she needs. Dervilia. Yeah. Sail on the Wine Dark Sea.
She's going to go south. She's got to go south. Take over a mission.
Oh my God.
She's being commissioned.
I'm not looking forward to it. And any final thoughts in this area?
I was going to say it's an excellent area with a lot of variety, and you should exploit it for your adventures, so to speak. And you also, it's one of these areas where you have a lot of things, meaning you have elves, dwarves, humans, orcs, humanoids of all kinds, demons, whatever, meaning almost anything goes in this area. And that's one of the cool things. So if you want to have a diverse campaign with a diverse party, I think the Wild Coast, there's few places on Earth, or at least within Greyhawk in the Flannies where it can beat it, so to speak, that way. And it also has a lot of old Greyhawk connections, and it's intimately linked to the old core of the setting. So yeah,
cool. And Tim, thanks for hopping on. Any final thoughts on the Wild Coast area, Narwell, the Headhunters, or anything else you'd like to discuss?
I like the. I'm a fan of that region just for its Wild Westness, the frontierness of it, and the so many options, to fit groups who would not be able to move as freely as they can there because of its lack of, its quote lawlessness, end quote.
Yeah, that's true. Limited lawlessness, right? There's pockets of it. Pat, I think let me check.
Gives freedom of maneuver for a campaign that so I really like it.
It is
one of my favorite places.
Thank you, Toxic Boy. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. So let me check something here. See who's in and out. We're gonna do the giveaway in a second. I'll do some shout outs, tell you what's going on. I just want to make sure you're in there.
And Highport was so hysterical.
Highport was great. I mean, Highport was great, and it was even better. I mean, it was fantastic. Yeah. Well, remember, Lomas, it's not. Dervilia is not Greyhawk. She is City State Invincible Overlord. It's a whole different campaign setting. It's not a Greyhawk. It's a City State. Yeah. Which I haven't played in about a year and a half, so I'm looking forward to it.
Has it been that long?
I think so.
Wow.
Yeah. Which is cool.
So many things.
Yep. I know, dude. Time just flies by. So, Tim, what's going on, man? As far as shout outs go, what do you got going on? Your game sold out. Your reverse dungeon sold out.
My reverse dungeon is full up.
Awesome.
So we'll be having some players be in the I'm not going to call it Dungeons and Dragons. I'm going to call it like Palaces and Paladins, because it's from the bad guy's point of view.
Right. That's awesome.
So it's going to be the monster's point of view. So the characters are all going to be monsters, and there's the opponents will be the adventurers. So there should be a lot of opportunity for hilarity, or not necessarily hilarity, but there should be plenty of opportunity for that. So I'm looking forward to it.
We got Oh wow, look at this group: Antiquitous, Indicarus, Phantom New Jersey, And William Henry Dvorak Giant Stop. Oh my gosh!
All right,
What
there
a
will
group.
be
What a
there will be
group.
hilarity. It will be awesome.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, that is
To
awesome.
the players, thanks to the players, it will be
Mhm.
very awesome. I hope I can make it entertaining for them.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Oh, Shattered, thanks. Oh, we may get a second hype train. So, yep, and
I also I've been I'm waiting to get a certain Kickstarter finished so I can get my copy so that I can finally prepare for the multi. It'll take like 2 or 3, maybe 4 sessions for the underdogs for the next phase of the
awesome.
underdogs. After those 4, maybe 5, they will actually catch up to the first adventure of the Dark Hand.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
Because
great.
I have those multiple timelines going on, which is like slowly driving me into madness.
Well, that's good to hear that that's going to be continuing onward as well. I guess you set the next date for that upcoming soon.
And I do have a little bit more homework and map work to do for the city state.
Okay.
Because I'm blending elements of the Wilderlands,
Mm-hmm.
where the city state originally was published, and blending that into a slightly different landscape geographics.
Awesome, dude. So
Yeah.
no, this will kick off day 2, 7 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Central start time. Started off bright and early that day, and then Tim will be here.
Want to get after it?
Yes, but then you will be here that night as Duncan Joustley the Cromulent for the Grand
Indeed,
Joust,
sir.
which the Grand Joust is sold out, and we have we got Monkey Boogers, we got Chantel, we got Valmoku again, Thomas Seals, that's Celtic, right? We got Grape Ape, and we got Phil, Amy Crittenden, along with all the others, and we also have some on the it looks like on the wait list here, and depending on how many VIPs we have, some of the others may get in as well. So thank you, Duncan Joustley.
Should be a top notch of the second annual.
Yes, well, this will be the 6th one in the campaign's history.
But I'm talking about the arena. The arena will be the second one at the arena.
Yeah, when we do an arena
or
combat.
the jousting thing.
Yeah, well, this will be the second time we've done it actually live stream for Junkie Cross. Yep, see Celtic. I'm learning, man. I'm learning. So yeah, it'll be good. Just note, you will all. One of you will attempt to unhorse Luke Gygax's Smelf. Eleator will be involved in that. So yes,
Awesome.
yeah, it'll be a blast. Along with some other special guests, we're gonna have a fun time with that upcoming. So is there a bounty on Luke? We don't. Oh, that's Matt. We don't want to be mean to Luke, do we? We don't want to be mean to Luke. Luke is being kind enough to come on.
You've already checked that box, Jay. You've already checked
that. Exactly. You covered that. Yeah. So now we just want him to have fun. Come in here and have fun.
Patrick Kane, Ancient Gamers in as well. And note that he's playing too.
Yep.
Awesome. Yes, we got a really good group coming. Like I said, Alyssa Faden's in as well, and Little Bones is in. And then we'll see. Hopefully, Todd Stashwick will be in with Morton. So, yeah. So note the following: if for anyone who's attempting to DM, you want to put in events, highlighted streams. Don't worry about conflicting with a highlighted stream. If your only time is 5 o'clock, I got to do it 5 to 10 on a Saturday night, and you get signups for it, run the game. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
No, don't worry about that. Don't worry about those conflicts ever. That's the whole thing about the con. There's always stuff going on all over. It's okay. There's multiple events. If you take a look at this, just note. So look at this. Friday, September 30th, 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 12. They all cross over. There's Mike's miniature painting stream. 12, 1, 2, 2. But that's the way cons work. It's all right. That's why you get a bunch of signups, and it's completely okay if there's conflicts. I try not to have conflicts with highlighted streams or maybe some crossover, but everyone's on their own channel, so it doesn't matter. So just note that. So, Tim, thanks for hopping on tonight, man. That's awesome.
My
Yeah.
pleasure.
So, Anna, what's going on?
The 2022 edition of the 598 map will come out tomorrow. I will rearrange the credits a bit because I realize they're not in alphabetical order, so people can't find themselves. So I'm going to rearrange that and put it in. And it's a couple of other credits that needs to get in, and then it is ready to ship. And it will be as it will be, so to speak, for this edition. So then the JPEG and the Easy Zoom will come on Monday night, tomorrow night, and then the rest will follow during the week, PDFs and all that, so to speak, and the hexed versions and so on and so forth. So that will be the main coming up this upcoming week, so to speak. That will be, and then we have the Cthulhu game on Friday. So yeah.
Yes, which we haven't heard anything yet about details yet. So
Yep.
we gotta find that out. So but I can
yeah. And I had the first death. We had the first death in our campaign. We ran that today. So Amy Crittenden, she got whacked by. Hang on a second here now.
No.
So I can say it right. It was a Rukarassel demon. Anyone know where that came from? Rukarassel demons. They are from an old adventure back in very far old, and they tie into something very typical Greyhawk that Gary wrote. It's a special kind of demon that serves someone very special, and that has some tie-ins with IUs. Yep. Anyone
awesome.
who read the Gord books will get it. So yeah, and that's a CR13 monster, and Jessirin, Amy's character, was a little bit on the offensive and out there, and damn, I'm going to defend the whole party and then some, and she got whacked. The demon got a crit in, and with almost maximum damage, double maximum damage, and that kind of killed her outright. So we had, yeah, so now we have but you see, in my campaign, not even death will get you out of it. So in my campaign, you stay in and you have to keep playing, because now she has to save her soul. Not only her body is gone, now she has to save her soul. Otherwise, a demon will come and harvest it, and that's scary. So now she has to outrun a bunch of demons coming for her soul. So it's tough. Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Oh, that is cool.
Yep. So it's a lot of things going on. So yep.
See what all of you people who Alex and Moku and Darling have to look forward to in that
yeah, you have to save not only your bodies in my game, you have to save your souls too. Yep.
That is fantastic. All right.
Yeah,
so
death is on the beginning. Yep.
my oh my gosh, where am I going here? I almost hit the mongrels. I almost hit the mongrel screen. I've been pretty good on bad ones tonight.
And Moose, yeah, then she will be really in trouble, Moose, if she sold her soul or soul already. Yep.
So Wednesday night, we're going to do a Pomars discussion with Joe Block, who has his Enter the Pomars and Die, and we'll go over, a lot of published source information about the Pomars on Legends and Lore Wednesday night. Minimum of 4 streams this week, and I'll explain. All right, that's Wednesday. Thursday, we continue our Narwell Headhunter new group of first level as they continue the adventure Aimless, because there were just skeletons wandering aimlessly, and they came across them like, what's going on here? So and that will continue. That's adventure number 968. That's Thursday night. That's an Infinite Dimensions Games giveaway. Some great 3D prints going to be given away on Thursday. Friday, which one is it? I think it's this one. Yes, it is. Hit the right button. Friday night Call of Cthulhu game. First time ever on the channel with Matt Ryan of Chaosium. The company that that does Call of Cthulhu will be game mastering for Frog God Zach Glazer, Alyssa, Anna, and myself. A nice 3-hour adventure. We'll probably end up all dead at the end of it, but that'll be Friday night at 8 p.m. That'll be a blast. Saturday night, I got Ask Joe about Swords and Cthulhu. I think that's his. Okay. Saturday night, I have a 50-50 shot of having another special event. I have a bunch of teenagers in the area, some friends of friends, some kids of some of my friends, and people we know that want to play in a low-level game. First time they've ever played D&D. It may happen this upcoming Saturday night, the 27th. And if it comes together during the week, I will let everyone know. I may be on as well Saturday night, just running. And I'm gonna make them third level so that they're not bored. Third level characters, and I may use the same terrain I have up for Thursday, but they all love Stranger Things and stuff. I'm going to introduce them to Greyhawk, so it may be a very raw game that we may have this Saturday night, and I don't have a banner for that. It's coming together. You going to run 5e for them? No, Dale. I'm not. I don't even know how to run 5e. I'm going to run old school for them. I'm going to teach them the right way. That's it, Dale. So Dale, when we ran the Slavs last week and a half ago, and Luke was on, Luke asked everyone their age and goes, "It's so great that you're all playing old school. That's so cool. I really appreciate it." And they're like, "Oh, we love it. We love it." There you go. So that was nice. Sunday nights, next week's Gabbin. Next week's Gabbin. We're going to talk homebrewing in a published setting. That may sound, of course you do that, but we're just gonna chat with John because John's gonna have his upcoming aired Altamira start location, and we're just going to chat about what's going on with Greyhawk, Altamira, and Aired, all three. And John will come on, and I'll just chat up with some ideas.
Yeah, I think it's a really important discussion for homebrewing, making your own, people that want to make your own adventures and set them in Greyhawk or something. I think it's an important to get some ideas and procedures and pitfalls and stuff, and also to tell you it's not that difficult, so to speak. You can do it.
Absolutely. Troy, you hit the nail on the head. What I'm going to do is and they're all going to be third, but I'm going to do a Vecna spin, of course, on this adventure that I'm going to run with it for them. As long as it comes together. I mean, it may not come together this Saturday, but it'll be. I'm hopeful it will, but I'm working on that. So, trying to get them all together is kind of tough and all. But it's going to be a Vecna spin to it, and you will see. And then this has just been put together as of the last 12 hours. The next Ed Greenwood game, 2 drink minimum. We don't have a special guest yet because it's so early coming up. Saturday, September 10th. It's not far off. So that is quick. 3 weeks from yesterday, Ed and crew will be back. And we're trying to get out there. Another special guest, but if not, I'll round someone up, or we'll go with just 5. But the whole group has confirmed for that date. So in this one, maybe a little more of a fun one. We'll see. I may just make it a little lighthearted and silly, but we'll see on that one. And that's as far out as I have. And just note, then we got GrowlCon coming up. So, all right, what a great show tonight. Let's do the giveaways. And of course, I'm going to, yes, of course, Ben, and thank you. And that's the deal, man. Just make Greyhawk your own, and it doesn't matter if there's some differences out there. It's okay. It's okay. Everyone, it's a huge resource to everyone, and note that.
Thank you.
Yes,
thank you.
It makes our lives makes Greyhawk that much more fun to play in. All right, closing this out. Long shot. The real long shot. Is the real long shot still hanging in there? He looks like he is.
Nice.
The real long shot's still in there. Yep.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
All right. Congrats, long shot. And we'll get with you on 2, okay? We'll pick 2 from that pile. So warm up to go with the Demon Grove. So I'm going to throw a little twist on it because I want to introduce them to Greyhawk and a possibility of something could happen in Greyhawk. So you'll see. I'm gonna make things similar but not, which will be really good. I think it'll be a fun time as long as it happens. But like I said, I'm prepping for it as if it will. So long shot, I'll get with you and we'll talk off via Discord, and I'll get that sent out right away. Anyone who ordered a T-shirt for Virtual GrowlCon, they're all going out tomorrow. I know there was a bunch of orders. I really appreciate all the last second. There was a lot of people who registered over the last 24 hours. Thank you so very much. Oh, absolutely, Phantom. That game streamed. They know it. Yeah, I'm streaming that game with all the new players. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. 100%. It will be a streamed game. whenever it happens. Yeah. And I'll announce it to everyone. So we're going to raid into Darling tonight. Okay. Good to see everyone. Thank you all. Anna, thank you for a great discussion. Tim, thank you for
you're welcome.
coming
Thank
in.
you.
Oh my gosh, there we go. I moved the thing around it. Note, I'm looking on making some minor changes to the to some of our stream setups just to give it a little more pop on eye candy, just to change some things up. I'm working on some things. Nothing's come together yet. Let's see. Killed by in Tim campaign by Jeremy Virgil, beating my character to death, losing my soul, and an Anna campaign should be relatively painful. Yeah, Alex, you are a glutton for punishment. Plus, hanging out at the bar, being the voice of reason at PAX Unplugged last year too, if you recall.
Awesome.
Yes. So, definitely.
That wasn't my fault.
No, it wasn't. Well, it kind of was your fault. Kind of. It wasn't 100% your fault. See everyone 2 nights off. See everyone Wednesday night. At least 4 streams and 5 nights, maybe 5 in straight nights coming up this week.
Wow.
See you all Wednesday night with Joe Block. Please check out whoever else is on live streaming coming up. I know Sean's on Mondays, and John at Blue Box is on Tuesdays, and there's a couple other great channels on. Please patronize them, and I hope you have a great night. See you. I'm looking for the right button to hit. See you all Wednesday. My voice is going. It doesn't bode well for work tomorrow.
Yeah, but
that doesn't bode well. There we go. 75. Awesome. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See you in a couple days. Awesome.